Hi guys, so today I have this sweet new set to share with you guys from LDRS Creative. It is something that they brought exclusively to scrapbook.com. So they did send this item free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions on my own. And links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items through those links. It is the Hey Friend kit. Super cute. I can see that we have our photopolymer stamp here, really nice size, and with the little flowers and sprigs and sentiments. Wish you were here. Hey girlfriend, for a dear friend, thank you. Dies for each of these things, so this is a bundle. Again, they're on scrapbook.com, and I'll have it linked there. The only place you can get it. And then the dies that go along with that, and look at this whole plate will cut everything out at once, and then you have your word dies, whichever sentiments you want to cut out, you can do that. Those are separate. And then there's a stencil, and the stencil is really sweet. There are 4 stencils in here, 2 for the flowers, I believe, and 2 for the greenery. So as you can see, there's your background color, right? Like the first one you would lay down. This is Stencil A. You just pop it right there. Stencil B gives you some detail. And of course you can color each flower a different color, you know, because they're spaced out enough, or you can just use the same color on all of them, which is quicker. This is Stencil C that's going to do the first layer of your greenery. And with the LDRS Creative Stencils, I don't know if you can see, it has like little etchings, and so basically that helps you with your placement. You know, you have the black lines or whatever it is that you stamp, and maybe you don't want to stamp it, maybe you just want to use the stencils, and it looks more soft, like watercolored. You can definitely do that, so you don't need to use the black lines, so this little etching will help you with your placement. And then finally D here gives you the last little detail on your greenery, I don't know if you can see there. So we're just going to get right into it, guys. I think this is going to be really fun because you can cut all these little flowers all at once and maybe do a couple sessions, you know, a couple rounds of it, so you have lots of flowers to use on your card or your cards, or get them ready for other cards, right? So let me grab some paper and some inks and probably some blending tools. I like the little brush tools, or, you know, whatever you like to use, finger daubers. There's not a huge area that would work really well. And I'll be right back. So I just have some inks here. We'll use our stamp in just a minute. I'm just going to set up this paper. This is just some heavyweight white paper, but any paper you want to stamp on will be great. And then we're going to color it in with ink, so it doesn't have to be like specialty papers or paper that, you know, works with alcohol ink or anything like that. But so all I'm going to do is stamp. Today I'm going to stamp with VersaFine ink, and I'm going to heat set it with some embossing powder. And we'll go from there. A lot of times I just stamp and then I ink it up. If you're using a hybrid ink and then you go in with hybrid ink to color in, just know that it will reactivate the first whatever color ink that you use for this. So just be careful with that, because it'll start smearing and you don't want that. So either use a different ink that doesn't reactivate the first layer, or something like this. Now this is a photopolymer stamp. It does have a sticky kind of dispersion layer. You can always wipe that off with some alcohol, but if you do that, go ahead and wash it, right? Rinse it really well. You don't want just alcohol sitting on your stamp. Or just rub it really well with the ink pad the first time, or stamp off a few times. I always just go for it, but if you ever have issues, like you're like, oh, it's not quite stamping as clearly as you would like, a lot of times it has to do with that. Oh, you know what? That's interesting. I have some sparkly embossing powder. That'd be fun, huh? But for now I just grabbed this clear one. And just for uneven pressure, I just missed that little part right there. And since this is VersaFine, it does take a moment to set up, so that's perfect. And I'm just going to remove this, get this ready. I usually have a coffee filter to pour this on, but I did not bring one out today. So let me actually, ooh, that's some thick paper. Let me grab another scrap of paper that's not so thick, this one. And I'm just going to heat set this. That means getting my heat tool, and you know, as you're heating it up, as soon as the embossing powder turns clear, shiny, just move on. Now I did not use a little anti-static pouch, because honestly we're going to cut away everything that's not basically around here, so I didn't do that. But if you want to take that step, you can definitely do that. And again, just heat and move on as it turns clear. Okay, and that's all it is. So as it gets shiny, just move on, because if you keep hitting it, it will kind of flatten out instead of staying nice and puffy. So this is ready to go, and I try not to stay too long, because as you can see, the heat does warp your paper. You obviously want the stencils and everything to line up still, so just be careful with that. I think I might stamp another little set of them, and I'll be right back. So we have 2 sets of them here. And one thing is, if you do use an anti-static pouch, obviously if you get, you know, some of the embossing powder in here, it'll just be nice and clear. Right now I can see that I did set some up, but it might add to the organic nature of our flowers. So I'm okay with that. Now I'm just going to tape this down. And to be honest, this is so simple, you probably can just hold it. You know what I'm saying? Hold it with your hand and do your inking. So I have red, pink kind of brush, I have a green one, and I have a blue one. And I think what I'm going to do with my little flowers, I'm going to do a set that's pink and red. Red for the accent color, and then light blue and dark blue on the other set. And then of course the greenery is the greenery, so I'll do a light green and a dark green. So I'm going to get the pink from this set and the red from this one just to be ready. And so for this whole one I'm going to do all of them pink. And just something like that. And I usually start in the center and go out, but honestly it doesn't really matter too much. So that's that for that one. I like the way it looks kind of organic there. And let me take this off and bring in our next one. So that was A, and then we need B. And again, we're just lining it up. You know, I do have the black lines there, but if you aren't going to stamp the first set of lines, you do have the little etching that helps you place everything. That looks good right there. So I'll tape that one down and go in with my red. And then when I do the blue, I'll do the same thing. Start with a light blue and then go in with the dark blue. I think that's it for that one. And look at how sweet. Okay, let me rinse these off and then we'll do our greenery. So for our greenery, we're going to start with C. So it's our first layer. You're going to go in with the lighter green. Oh, complete. Looking somewhere else. Okay, there we go. And then we'll go over it with the last one, which is D, which gives you your accent colors. So I'm just going to put that there and put this one here. And just like before, I'm going to take a lighter color, this light green, go over everything. And then I'll come back in. And this one, this stencil also has like the line, the stem itself. So again, if you don't want to do the stamping first and you just want to do an ethereal kind of softer look with just the inks, you can definitely do that with just the stencils because it gives you that little line anyway. Look at how cute. Okay, and then we'll go in with our accent green. Should we bring this guy over? And again, if you're not using the stamp, you can line up the little etchings on the stencil that help you with your placement. And I'll come in with the darker green. And just a little of that. Excuse me, so we'll just come in with a little of that, and I'll just go through all of it. And take this off and give it a wash. And then I'll be right back. Let's see this. The little accent. Okay guys, so I have my two sets. I have the little red and pink and the light blue and dark blue. And all I'm going to do is take my plate and just run that through. Get all those cut out at once, real easy. And this guy right here. And I want to see if I can see right through there, then I'm not going to make an aperture. But yeah, you can see right through, even down to the very little stem and everything. So I'll just place this where I think is best, like right about there. And of course tape it down in a few places so it doesn't move. And I'll run this through, and I'll run through the blue ones also, and I'll be right back. Just look at this. Look, they all just fall out. So cute. And that one even has a little piece that comes out right there to make it a little more delicate even. Okay, I'll run through the blue set. And just real quick, while I'm die cutting, I'm going to go ahead and use this Pretty Things cover plate die number 3. And I'm just going to run through some white paper, white on white, with a white card base. So this is an A2 size plate, and I will run this through and I'll be right back. Pretty little flowers here, and I have an A2 size card base. I have a little piece of lovely watercolor floral cardstock cut down to just smaller than 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm just going to stick those down and just glue them down just like this. And then we'll build up our card toppers. Okay, so I'm just going to glue those down. Okay, so I have that down. And also I'm going to go ahead and stamp a sentiment. Funny enough, I had cleaned off my brush on here just to clean it off between colors, and I think that's going to look nice if I was to stamp the thank you or whatever my sentiment might be. And then I have this Stitch decorative label set that I can then cut out my sentiment. So I think I'm going to do it, excuse me, so I think I'm going to use this one here to cut the sentiment out. So, you know, however that works, if it needs to be more over here, that'll be fine. So I'll just eyeball kind of where this needs to be, where I need to stamp this, and I'll just stamp it there and then run that through, okay? And I'll be right back. I have this piece here. So pretty. And initially I had said I was going to do white on white, of course, but then I put that color back there. But white on white looks really nice and crisp and clean. And so what I'm going to do is just check this out and start kind of maybe tucking in my little flowers and see what it is that I want to do. You know, do I want them all coming up from the top, or maybe just some sprigs, or just here, maybe here and there? Am I going to mix the colors up? Whatever it is that I decide to do, I'm going to just kind of play with that a little bit. That looks really cute already. Maybe this little guy in there. You know what? I kind of like that. And then I had left it so that maybe I can put a little flower under here. So I stamped the thank you just a little bit higher. I think that looks pretty great. So what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals on this, and then I will start just tucking them in. So I'm going to glue this on here, just a little glue, and I'll put some dimensionals on the back of this, and I'll be right back. So I have my dimensionals on here. What I'm going to do is just remove those, and then just the way they are, I'm going to try and just, excuse me, so I'm just going to pop this here, and then I'll tuck in my little flowers. You know, I'm trying to see if it's centered. It's pretty centered, actually. What I'm looking at is this little area here. Not too bad. And then I'll just add a little glue and pop things back in kind of where they were. And I always leave them kind of doing their own thing. So, you know, that's up to you how you want to glue them down. I probably won't push until I'm really done. So I'm just going to do that. Take a moment to put glue, tuck them back in, just the way you see them, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, and that's my card for today. Super sweet. Lots going on, so quick to, you know, color them in and make it up. Really, really adorable. So again, this is exclusive to scrapbook.com. I have the link there for you guys. And, you know, while you're there at Scrapbook, see what they're offering free today. A lot of times every day, pretty much, they have something free that you can just add onto your order and you get a little something extra. So just check that out, is what I would recommend. And thank you so much, LDRS Creative, for sending these items for review. I'll have some images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.